Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
We're here today with Farmer Ron from Stokes Farm in Old Tappan, New Jersey. We are so excited to do a short interview with him and ask him a few questions that a lot of moms have been sending us, interested in knowing more about specific farming questions. So the first question, hit it off with.
The big one is organic.
Yes.
So this organic certification and what we should be asking our farms, and just talk to us more about that.
Sure.
Because that's everyone's
Sure.
question.
That's a good question. So I think one thing you have to understand is that, like, when you're coming to a farmer's market or when you're coming to a farm, I think one of the really important things to be asking is, like, what is fresh and what is in season. So I think that's one of the most important things, because if you're coming to a farm in, say, the fall, there's not going to be strawberries or blueberries. You should be asking, like, hey, what don't I want to miss? There's always something like, oh my God, right now there's cauliflower in season, and cauliflower is really, really good for you. And so that's one of the things you should be asking. But as in terms of organic, I think it's really important that you should know who your farmer is. So, like, if you have the chance to come to a farm like Stokes Farm, it's really important to become friendly with your farmer, because they're the people who are feeding you. And I think that's really, really important to know who your farmer is.
Okay, excellent. And talk to us a little bit about what your techniques are with growing and harvesting your produce.
Sure. Actually, we are right now in one of our hydroponic greenhouses where we grow things without soil. Actually, we grow them indoors where they're protected from animals and weather. So we're able to grow lots of things, like this awesome basil back here. And
It smells amazing.
Oh my God, it smells really good in here. So we're able to grow basil like this hydroponically that has its roots still attached. So it's literally, when we bring it down to the farm stand or we bring it to the farmer's market, it's literally still growing. So it still has all the nutrients and all the vitamins that people are asking for. So it's still literally fresh. You could actually plant this if you wanted to in the ground, and it would, if it wasn't 30 degrees outside, it would actually still be growing, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so the next question is regarding local produce, so buying your local produce versus going to the grocery store and buying organic produce that perhaps came from Mexico or somewhere far away.
Sure.
What is the value of buying something local?
So the value of buying something local is, of course, that you're reducing your carbon footprint. So things aren't being shipped all the way from another country or from across the United States. Unfortunately for us, that also means that we don't have things at certain times of the year. So we always preach eating seasonally, or canning stuff or jarring stuff. That's really important, like trying to savor and save some of the things that we are going to miss in the summertime. Like we have a great recipe for we have a great recipe of how to save sweet corn from the summertime, so that you can have sweet corn all winter long, and you don't have to buy it from the grocery store, which is really great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So tell the audience what type of produce you currently have in your store.
Okay, so right now it is almost the middle of November. It's almost Thanksgiving time. So we just got done digging sweet potatoes and Jerusalem artichokes, which are also called sunchokes, and maybe we'll go into the farm stand and take a look at some of those. We have all of our hydroponic greens, which extends our season, which is really nice. So we have all basil and lettuce and Swiss chard that, again, we'll go down and see in a little bit. Lots of herbs. So there's still lots of herbs in season: rosemary, thyme, sage, parsley, dill, cilantro. So there's lots of things that we're still growing and still producing here in New Jersey.
Now, going back to the organic question.
Sure.
Buying from the grocery store, like we were talking about before, I mean, that produce lasts for weeks.
Yes.
Like, what's the difference? I mean, you taste the difference when you buy from your local farms.
Sure.
So what's the difference that's making it last? But it's organic. What are they allowed to do?
Right. I don't know sometimes, because I get really concerned. We just had this conversation the other day about strawberries. A lady came to us in the summertime when we were picking strawberries, and she said, your strawberries go bad really quickly. And we were trying to explain to her that, well, yeah, we pick our strawberries when they're red and they're ripe and they're ready to go. We pick them, then we bring them to the market. And so you have to eat them really quickly. She's like, oh, okay. So we said to her, well, what about the strawberries you get in the grocery store? I said, shouldn't you be more worried about the ones that don't go bad? Like, they're like, oh, I didn't think of that. So that's one thing that does concern me. I really don't know, and that's the concern, is you don't know. Like, you're just trusting whatever's on that package. That's what you are trusting that. Instead of talking to somebody or seeing somebody, like, and it's getting worse now, I feel, with like companies that will deliver produce to your door. Now you can't talk to anybody. Now that even in the grocery store, you're not even able to say, hey, do you have any more peppers or eggplant? No, it's like, you're just trusting that whoever packaged that into a box and dropped it at your door is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And you're hoping that the box, you're talking to a box now. And that's concerning, because now you're not even talking to a real life person who grew it for you. So that's really concerning.
No, yeah, that's huge.
Awesome. So we're talking a lot about asking questions and knowing who your farmer is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the questions we get are, what questions should we be asking? So when we're at the farmer's market, do you like it when parents ask you questions about your farm? I'm sure you love that.
We really do. We love questions. And like I said before, I think one of the main questions that we always love to hear is, like, when people get to the farmer's market, to the farm stand, and let's say they haven't been there in a while, they'd be like, oh my God, what did I miss? Or what's coming up? You know, that's one question that gets us excited, because then it allows for a great conversation, because you're like, well, right now, you know, this certain heirloom tomato is really in season, so you know, we might not have any next week, because literally on our farm we only grow we grow about 15 kinds of heirloom tomatoes. So at any one time we're only picking a box or two of certain varieties, and so we like to let people know, like, no, you can't get this every single week. So, you know, you don't want to miss that, or you don't want to miss those tomatoes, or, oh my God, there's only maybe 2 more weeks before a frost, so get your corn now before it's gone. And people like to hear that. And like, it's a great way to start conversation at a farmer's market without a customer feeling like they're being annoying. You know, like, I feel like sometimes customers feel like they're being annoying, and you're not. You're not being annoying, customers. We love you.
Or you can't be as annoying as Lacey
No,
and I.
that's not true. No, but that's one of the main things we love to hear. Like, we like to hear about what you're doing and how you're cooking. Like, that's a great thing too. Like, we like people to pick up a celery root and be like, what is this, celery root? And then having a conversation about it. And people being adventurous. Be adventurous. And try new things and see, like, maybe there's a recipe. We all have our phones now. We can easily search a recipe for, I don't have to come up with a recipe for you. You could search a recipe online and find a great recipe for a celery root soup or a mashed potato. And you can try new things. Try new things. It's the best way to get your kids eating healthy, sneaking different foods into their diet and seeing what they like and what you like.
Do you have any more questions for Farmer Ron?
Yeah, I think the last question, which is really interesting to us, is basically growing up on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
He explained the history of the farm, which goes back to
1873.
1873. So been in the business forever, which is awesome. Do you feel that this has really made a positive impact on your children?
Oh, absolutely.
Do they look at food differently, and do they feel they've made a different relationship with food?
Yes, not only that, actually my daughter was just here the other day, and she just turned 2, and all summer we were picking strawberries we have a little strawberry patch at the back of the farm, and she came here the other day, and again, it's the middle of November, and she came here and she's like, Daddy, strawberries, strawberries, and like, I was like, oh, there are no more strawberries, but we can go pick cauliflower. She's like, okay.
Aww.
You know, like, and they're able to come here and use their imagination and go, and like, there's some days where, like, I have an 8-year-old who just comes and he's like, I'm gonna go pick cherry tomatoes. Okay, great, bye. And like, they're not looking at a screen. They're not, you know, fighting with each other, because I have 3 kids who they constantly fight, and they can go and pick something, and they're like, wow, like, and they can bring it down to the farm stand, and they talk to other customers like randomly, and like, oh, I just picked these cherry tomatoes, and it's such a nice change. It's like almost like what life kind of used to be like, or like where you used to go out on your bike and you'd come home at dinner time, and like, there's a lot of times where my kids are here and they're just like, yeah, just go, you'll find your way. And thankfully, they don't know how to drive any of the tractors yet, so we're okay there. They can't reach the pedals, but yeah, they just go and they use their imagination, and they just come up with the craziest things sometimes, and they do come up with some crazy recipes too. And but yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So using your imagination and being able to just go and be in a safe place where there's lots of things to do and see and smell and touch and eat is amazing.
Bringing it back to the basics.
Bringing it back to the basics. That's right. All right. So as we close, why don't you give a little bit more information about the farm when you're open?
Sure. Our farm is, we originated in 1873. We are actually one of the oldest businesses, single family owned in Bergen County. And right now we're open until Thanksgiving. We're actually open until November 21st, which is the day before Thanksgiving. And then after that, we'll be open 3 weekends in December for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be open for mostly for events. We have some really great gingerbread house decorating events coming up. We also have a full service wine bar in our farm stand. So if anyone needs to get away from their kid. So we have lots of fun events coming up for the winter, and we're really excited actually about what's to come. We have a lot of new exciting events coming up in the springtime, which you will be hearing about on our social media and their social media. And so yeah, we can't wait to see all you guys.